Just an hour ago, Dan Patrick dropped a bombshell that's rocking the world of women's basketball, publicly rejecting Angel Reese in favor of Caitlin Clark, who continues to dominate the WNBA. As Clark's star rises, Reese finds herself in an increasingly tough spot. Could this be the moment that defines their rivalry, or will Reese find a way to bounce back? Dan Patrick, a well-known figure in sports commentary, recently made waves with his strong opinions on the ongoing debate between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. During his show, Patrick didn't hold back, openly downplaying Angel Reese's abilities and instead heaping praise on Caitlin Clark, painting her as the clear standout. According to Patrick, while Angel Reese is a wonderful player, she simply doesn't compare to what Caitlin Clark brings to the table. He suggested that if anyone were to start a franchise today, Caitlin Clark would be the obvious choice, further cementing his belief that Clark is the superior player.
Clark is a phenomenon. And if I said to any of these people who think Caitlin Clark is not the Rookie of the Year, I'd say, who would you want to start your franchise with?
Patrick's comments caused quite a stir in the sports community as they tapped into an ongoing discussion about who deserves to be the face of women's basketball. By so overtly favoring Clark, Patrick reignited the rivalry between the two players, with fans and commentators quickly taking sides. Some agreed with his assessment, arguing that Clark's recent performances have been nothing short of phenomenal, showcasing a level of skill and consistency that is hard to match. Others, however, felt that Patrick's dismissal of Reese was unfair, overlooking her contributions and the unique challenges she has faced. The implications of Patrick's stance go beyond just the careers of these two athletes. His remarks reflect a larger narrative within women's basketball, one that centers around who should be the sport's leading figure. Caitlin Clark, with her remarkable shooting ability and game-changing plays, is often seen as the next big thing, the player who can bring women's basketball into the mainstream spotlight. On the other hand, Angel Reese, with her defensive prowess and strong presence on the court, represents a different kind of basketball star, one whose success is built on hustle and resilience rather than flashy highlights.
Just saying between these two. Angel Reese is a wonderful player, but she does not compare to what and who Caitlin Clark is.
Patrick's comments also underscore the pressure that comes with being in the spotlight, especially for young athletes like Reese and Clark. By comparing them so directly, he has inadvertently fueled the competition between them, turning what could have been a healthy rivalry into a contentious debate. This isn't just about who is the better player, it's about who can carry the mantle of women's basketball into the future. And in Patrick's view, that responsibility falls squarely on Caitlin Clark's shoulders, a sentiment that has sparked both support and backlash. Angel Reese's journey in the WNBA has been nothing short of captivating. From the moment she stepped onto the professional court, Reese made it clear that she was a force to be reckoned with. Drafted 7th overall by the Chicago Sky, she quickly transitioned from a top college player to a rising star in the WNBA. Known for her relentless energy, exceptional rebounding skills, and defensive tenacity, Reese began to carve out a name for herself in a league filled with seasoned veterans and emerging talents. Reese's impact on the court was immediate. Her ability to dominate the boards and contribute crucial points made her an asset to her team. In just a short span, she started recording double-doubles with regularity, showing that she could not only hold her own, but excel at the highest level of women's basketball. Fans and analysts alike began to take notice, and it seemed like Reese was on a fast track to becoming one of the league's most prominent figures. However, as is often the case in sports, success didn't come without its challenges. In recent games, Reese has faced significant setbacks that have tested her resilience. Despite her solid performances, including a recent game where she scored 19 points and found her rhythm in the mid-range, Reese has been getting the cold shoulder from several key figures in the basketball world. One of the most notable rejections came from coach Cheryl Reeve of the Minnesota Lynx, who chose not to draft Reese, citing concerns that she wouldn't mesh well with the team's style. This decision was a tough pill to swallow, especially considering the potential Reese had shown and the fact that she was practically a starter in Chicago. But the challenges didn't stop there. Reese also faced a stinging blow when Caitlin Clark, her peer and rival, turned down a potential collaboration. This rejection was particularly harsh, as it highlighted the growing divide between the two players. Clark's refusal to team up with Reese sent a clear message about the competitiveness and tension between them, further complicating Reese's standing in the league. These setbacks have undoubtedly affected Reese's career trajectory. While she continues to perform well on the court, the rejections have cast a shadow over her otherwise promising rise. The comparisons to Clark, which have become a constant narrative in sports media, haven't helped either. Rather than being celebrated for her unique strengths, Reese often finds herself being measured against Clark's accomplishments, a comparison that has only added to the pressure she faces. Caitlin Clark has been nothing short of spectacular in her recent WNBA performances, solidifying her reputation as one of the most dominant players in the league. Over the past few weeks, Clark has been on an absolute tear, putting up numbers that have left fans and analysts alike in awe. Whether she's draining deep three-pointers or slicing through defenses with her quick, decisive drives, Clark has consistently outperformed her peers, including Angel Reese. In a recent game against the Seattle Storm, Clark put on a clinic, showcasing her ability to take over a game single-handedly. She didn't just lead her team to victory, she made it look effortless, scoring at will and displaying a level of confidence that is rare for someone so early in their career. This performance was just one of many where Clark demonstrated why she is often considered the future of women's basketball. Her scoring ability, combined with her vision and court awareness, makes her a triple threat that defenses struggle to contain. Clark's dominance isn't just about her individual stats, although those are impressive enough on their own. It's also about the impact she has on her team's success. When Clark is on the floor, her presence is felt in every aspect of the game. She draws double teams, creates opportunities for her teammates, and seems to have an almost magnetic effect on the ball. It's this ability to control the flow of the game that has set her apart from other players, including Angel Reese, who, despite her talents, has struggled to make the same kind of game-changing impact. The constant comparison between Clark and Reese has been a tough pill for Reese to swallow. While both players are incredibly talented, the spotlight has increasingly shifted towards Clark, especially as she continues to rack up impressive performances. This comparison has been detrimental to Reese's public image, as it often places her in a position where she's seen as falling short of Clark's achievements. It's not that Reese isn't performing well, she is, but when you're constantly being measured against someone who's playing at an MVP level, it's hard not to feel overshadowed. Clark's success has only widened the gap between the two athletes. While Reese has had her moments, they've been largely eclipsed by Clark's consistent excellence. The narrative around the two players has shifted in a way that positions Clark as the clear frontrunner, with Reese often cast in the role of the underdog trying to keep up. This dynamic has put immense pressure on Reese, who is not only trying to excel in her own right, but is also battling the perception that she's somehow lesser than Clark.
Angel Reese is actually paying the cost at this moment from attaching her brand to Caitlin Clark's brand.
Angel Reese's efforts to align her brand with Caitlin Clark's have not gone as planned. In the world of sports, brand attachment can be a double-edged sword, and for Reese, it has started to cut deep by trying to associate herself with Clark. Arguably the biggest name in women's basketball right now, Reese hoped to elevate her own profile. However, instead of boosting her brand, this strategy seems to have backfired, casting her in a less favorable light. The problem lies in the stark contrast between the two players' current trajectories. While Clark continues to dominate on the court, drawing accolades and admiration from fans and media alike, Reese's performance has been more inconsistent. As a result, the constant comparisons have only highlighted the gap between them, making Reese's attempts to hitch her wagon to Clark look more like a desperate move than a savvy branding strategy. Instead of being seen as a rising star in her own right, Reese is now often viewed as someone trying to ride the coattails of Clark's success, which has hurt her marketability. This misstep has had broader consequences for Reese's career. In the highly competitive world of professional sports, an athlete's brand is just as important as their performance. Sponsorship deals, fan support, and overall visibility are all tied to how a player is perceived both on and off the court. Unfortunately for Reese, her recent struggles have made it harder for her to attract the kind of high-profile endorsements that could have solidified her standing as one of the WNBA's top players. Brands are cautious about investing in athletes who appear to be overshadowed by their peers, and Reese's association with Clark hasn't helped her case. Fan support has also been affected. While Reese has a loyal following, the ongoing narrative that pits her against Clark has divided fans. Those who are firmly in the Clark camp may see Reese's branding attempts as opportunistic, further diminishing her appeal. This division has made it more challenging for Reese to expand her fan base, which is crucial for any athlete looking to build a lasting legacy. Moreover, Reese's standing in the WNBA has taken a hit. The league is full of talented players, and to stand out, one needs to consistently perform at a high level while also cultivating a strong personal brand. Reese's recent setbacks, coupled with the perception that she's struggling to keep up with Clark, have made it difficult for her to maintain her position as one of the league's rising stars. This could have long-term implications for her career, especially if she's unable to turn things around and establish herself as a leading figure in the WNBA. The media has played a significant role in shaping the narrative around Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, and this has had a profound impact on public perception. From the moment their rivalry became a talking point, the media has been quick to compare the two, often framing the conversation in a way that places Clark on a pedestal while leaving Reese struggling to keep up. This constant comparison has not only fueled the rivalry, but also skewed public perception in favor of Clark. Media outlets thrive on creating compelling stories, and the contrast between Clark's meteoric rise and Reese's challenges has made for a captivating storyline. However, this narrative has not been entirely fair to Reese. While Clark's accomplishments are undeniably impressive, the media's focus on her success has often come at the expense of acknowledging Reese's own achievements. Instead of being celebrated for her contributions to the game, Reese is frequently cast as the player who is just not quite at Clark's level. This has created a lopsided narrative that has been hard for Reese to shake. Social media has amplified this dynamic even further. Platforms like Twitter and Instagram are buzzing with commentary on the ongoing rivalry, and the reactions to Dan Patrick's recent comments have been particularly telling. Fans and commentators alike have taken to social media to voice their opinions, with many echoing Patrick's sentiments that Clark is the superior player. The hashtags and trending topics that emerge from these discussions often reflect a growing consensus that Clark is the future of women's basketball, leaving Reese in a more precarious position. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.